Hello and welcome to the GameBrew podcast, MAGFest Microbrew Edition. I am your host, Ian Richard, and I'm here with the rest of the GameBrew crew.
Hey!
And we are here in the high-tech penthouse soundproof recording studio of the Gaylord Hotel and Convention Center with the Triforce Quartet. Oh, actually, but could you introduce yourselves?
Oh, hey. I guess is that us? That's us, right?
That's you.
Triforce Quartet. We're Triforce Quartet.
Woo!
Hey! Two violins, viola, cello. That's a quartet. Yeah.
That's how
That is
quartets
four.
are.
That's a string quartet. Yes.
String quartet. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's the clarification. People might be confused.
That's true. That's true.
Are we introducing like each of us?
Yes, you can
or-
say names. And
Okay, I'm
play.
Chad.
What do you play?
What do you play?
Oh, you want to know more?
Yeah, what do you play?
Oh, I play cello.
Chad the Chad.
It works out with the alliteration. Yeah.
It's good. I like that.
What?
Dig it.
Oh, I founded Triforce Quartet.
Oh,
yeah.
very fancy.
Found
Oh, thanks for reminding me, Matt.
That's why he has the big hat. And we have...
And I'm Matt Evans, violin, and I'm the newest member of Triforce.
Woo!
And I'm Jake Rogie. I also play violin.
That's fine. We edit the podcast heavily, so don't worry, we'll take that out. And also all the bits at the beginning about the goat, we won't mention that.
Yeah, we won't mention the goat. We never talk about that, really.
My name is Stanley, and I am a destroyer of microphones, and also a violist. I'm also have the longest hair in Triforce Quartet,
And the best beard.
and the best beard apparently.
Game
This is
brew
not my
facts.
these are not my
GameBrew
words.
facts.
GameBrew facts.
Yeah,
It's the longest beard.
there are three of us who have beards, so
On the
Are you saying that the most important determiner is length? Is that what you're getting at?
Alex is saying.
Whoa.
well, Alex is right. So
Look, this is a whole nother.
Well, Alex
whole
is just
nother
mad he can't
podcast.
grow one.
All right, so getting back on track, can you tell us about how the quartet was founded and why you decided to found the quartet?
Sure. Okay. So, how long of a version do we want? Like the hour and a half version?
Yeah, we got plenty of
5
time.
minute?
no.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. So basically, I always liked video game music, and back when I was at James Madison, which apparently,
Go Dukes.
some people here apparently went there. When I was doing my senior recital, I arranged a Zelda medley, and I did it as my encore. And it went over really well. I put it on YouTube, and it went viral over the summer. But actually, a fun fact about that video: one, it's really out of tune, so don't look it up. I was put together last minute, didn't know it was gonna go on YouTube and a million hits or whatever. But I actually got in trouble for playing it.
Ooh, like
yeah.
copyright
Yeah.
infringement?
No, the other kind of trouble where my teacher was really mad at me for doing it.
Every party's got a pooper.
Yeah. And actually, if you look at the video, you can hear the door slam like in 10 seconds, and it was my teacher leaving the auditorium.
You know,
And, yeah.
Dr. Gannon used to get really upset about
Yeah.
things like that, so I can understand how that could happen.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it started. And then after that, I did a couple more arrangements. And then instead of just finding random people, which was okay, but not as fun, I kind of found these guys. And now, we do a lot more than just Zelda medley.
Yeah,
so.
does it ever bother you that the name of the quartet is Triforce?
No one has ever said that.
Ever.
That's the first time it's been brought to our attention.
So I had the pleasure of working with these guys recently. And in our session, they told me there are 4 triangles in the Triforce.
So which one of you is the middle one?
yeah, who's the black upside down one?
Probably me.
And I swear we didn't think of that idea after we had the name. It was definitely before, okay?
That wasn't a stretch at all. It was
Yeah.
perfect.
I was trying to remember when we came up with that.
We didn't come up with it. Some
Well, I
random
mean-
person came up and told us that, and we're like, oh, we're going to use
No,
it.
I mean like Triforce. Like what event
Oh,
was it?
It was the Art of
What's
Video
this?
Games.
Oh, okay, what was that?
and they said, oh, what's your name? And I'm like, we don't have one. And then he's like, no, you need a name. So I said, I don't know, Triforce Quartet. And that was it.
Oh, I see. So the name Triforce Quartet wasn't necessarily because you were really focused on...
It was not well thought out.
Well, no. What I was saying was... that was not an accusation, sir.
This says nothing about our habits as a quartet in general. How dare you, sir?
What I was getting at is it wasn't that you really wanted to focus on Legend of Zelda music in particular. It was just that you
No,
enjoyed
it was
that. Okay.
I did the Zelda medley first,
Right.
and I like Zelda, and I don't know, I literally it was spur of the moment right before we went on stage.
Right.
Ted, what is your dog's name?
Well, okay, but my dog's name came after the quartet.
What is your dog's
My
name?
dog's name is Zelda. But and
Zelda
my
Fitzgerald,
son's
right?
name is Link. It's not Link. I tried. It didn't go over well.
Probably
so,
wouldn't go
yeah.
go great.
That's sad. That's a
I
missed
know.
opportunity.
So
I'm
he's-
just
so he's
putting it out
Tinkle
there.
then.
It was rejected.
Tinkle.
Yeah, it was Tinkle. Yeah.
It's a good dog name.
Your daughter's name is going to be Navi.
Navi. Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that to your child.
When you're getting ready for events like these and you're choosing a set list, what are the ways, like, how do you decide what you're going to play?
Fight to the death.
Yeah?
We argue.
Speaking of which,
Oh,
we have
yeah.
a great
We
question
have a
for
great
you.
question, but let's talk about the music first.
Ah.
Yeah. Hang on there, buddy. Slow your roll, pal.
Let's see. So
I mean, lots of things go into it.
yeah, there are definitely a lot of factors. Part of it is, I don't know, the venue. What have people heard? Who's going to the convention? Like we play at anime conventions, so we try to do like more JRPG stuff for anime conventions. Or we have to play something Zelda, or people will riot. So, so we have to maybe not the Zelda medley, although usually the Zelda medley, but at least something, or else people get really mad at us. So we don't like dealing with that.
And for conventions like MAGFest, we really try to make sure we have at least something new because for the real nerds, we want to make sure we are up to date.
Yeah. So I don't think we've ever played the same set twice. So we just kind of mix it
That's
up.
cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
That's great.
We do have like 3 hours plus of music that we
More
can
than that at this
play.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, not all of it's super ready all the time, but we do
Right.
have a lot of stuff we can play. So it's really
That's awesome.
what we're feeling at the time. We did just record an album. Thanks, Alex. So, a lot of that stuff ends up making its way onto sets and things at this point because we've worked on it a lot. Yeah.
So, in terms of the new stuff, what's new at MAGFest this year?
We're playing Lord of the Rings. We're playing the Zelda Ocarina of Time. Oh, the Pokemon theme song.
Yeah.
Or TV theme, right.
Hell yes.
Well,
That was a big hit at San Japan over the summer, so we decided to keep that in the rotation.
Yeah. What else? Do we have anything else that's new? Probably.
I mean,
So we did crowdfunding for our album that Alex recorded for us. I don't know if we said that.
I love all of these
Triforce
plugs.
Quartet, or are we plugging Alex here? Like, I don't know.
So there was what are they called?
Tiers?
contribution level.
Contribution level. There. Sorry. Yeah. Why can't I think of it?
We don't know what things are.
Yeah. So there was a contribution level that was like, you pick a song and we'll arrange it for you and play it.
Oh, nice.
So we found out that 2 of those people are going to be here
Oh, wow.
tomorrow, and so they don't know this, but we're going to play the themes for them. So
That's awesome.
And what are those, Chad?
one is from Lufia 2, and the other is Arcrise Fantasia.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
That's cool.
Nice.
Cool. In terms of like the individual pieces, do you look for specific things inside video game music to like, are there specific things that make compositions for video games better for quartets that you look for?
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are those things?
I don't have to be the only one talking. Do you want to say things? I can say things.
I think the first thing is we have to really like them. I mean, that seems obvious, but like we have to want to arrange it.
Except for when people pay us to
Right.
do the
Well, there's
arrangement.
that. Yeah.
Is it important for you guys to play the game before you work on a piece?
Not necessarily.
helps.
Usually one of us has played the game, but not all the time.
I'm definitely more motivated to do arrangements from games that I played, but that doesn't mean I have to.
Right.
I.e., Hollow Knight.
I played Hollow Knight.
I'm actually, yeah.
Oh, I did Hollow Knight because I played it and it was awesome. And I'm
the
like,
music
okay, we
is
gotta do the
incredible.
music. Right.
So one of the things about the Hollow Knight soundtrack that I really loved was that each sort of different biome had a really clear and distinct theme. Like even though it all was of the same style, you could tell when you were switching from different place to different place. And it managed to be atmospheric without being melodic, right?
Oh, definitely.
Right?
They did such a good job bringing the themes together and having certain parts from different themes, I don't know, throughout the whole game, so you could hear parts of certain areas and it like made sense that it would be in a different area because it was related.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and
without trying to give
the
things
boss
away.
fights versions would be like juiced up versions of the environments.
Right. As you were going through the level, like it would kind of like the music got more intense, and then the boss was like the most intense version of that theme.
Exactly.
It was really cool.
And now we're going to take a listen to a little of Triforce Quartet's Hollow Knight medley.
Do you struggle with people asking you to arrange a lot of music that's overly atmospheric or kind of backgroundy?
It can be. It's not like we go through every piece of video game music and try to pick the ones that we think would fit best for us. We find stuff that we like, and then we decide if it's possible for us to do it. And then kind of go from there.
Sometimes it just like the instrumentation just doesn't work. Like there's actually a theme in Hollow Knight that I really like, but I didn't exactly know how to do it for a string quartet, City of Tears. Like I think it's one of the best themes in the game, but I was like, I don't know how to make that work for us. So skipped over it, at least for now.
Has that ever raised the question of expanding instrumentation or changing instrumentation?
Yeah,
we've definitely had a couple of collaborations on previous albums. The issue is that we do play live for a significant portion of what we do. So anything where we have a big contribution of another instrument, we would have to figure out how to do that.
Right.
In terms of the live implementation, which we could do. It's just not something we've tackled yet.
So say like 4 tuba players wanted to be like, hey, maybe we could.
So how do you guys feel about touring?
Sure.
Figure that out.
You guys should talk to the Game Brass.
The Game Brass.
Yeah, I saw them last night. They're
they're
really,
awesome.
really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
That's
No, I mean they're not better than us, but they're
well,
pretty good though. They're
Clearly.
pretty good.
Unless they also
just
want to come on the
different.
podcast.
Oh, they're
in which
different.
case-
Different. Yeah.
So we are here at MAGFest. How long have you been coming to MAGFest for as a quartet?
Well, this is our 7th gazebo show, so at least 7.
7? No.
Yeah.
You didn't do one before me.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh. This is the first time I'm hearing about that.
Well, originally the gazebo shows, it wasn't even the gazebo. It was literally just set up anywhere and
Yeah, I
play,
know.
and like 5 people would be
But I
there.
didn't think you
Okay,
did.
so the
did
first
do-
year
yeah.
we didn't play in the gazebo.
That's
yes.
what I said. Yeah.
But we did a sideshow that was pretty
Oh,
popular.
maybe you're right. Maybe it wasn't actually in
I
the
think it
gazebo.
was in like the lobby area.
Right, we did. I remember we did it in like the lobby near the top of
Yeah,
the
the
escalators.
escalators, yeah.
That was
the
with
first
me?
year. No, we also
You
did
did
it the
it before
second
me?
year.
Okay.
And we set up in random places.
Right.
We
Before.
did it a couple times that first year.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
2012?
before- I mean-
2012.
Yeah, I think
I think
2012
it
That
was
was
the
I
first
thought it was.
Yeah. So 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Anyways, this is all very
maybe
well,
27 years ago, before MAGFest existed.
we were coming.
Back in my day, we had to walk uphill both ways to our rooms. So my follow-up question was, why do you keep coming back to this particular thing? Is it the environment? Is it the fans? Is it the
Well, okay, so
bonus we live here?
yeah, so the one special thing about MAGFest compared to any other convention is that people come here specifically for the music.
Yeah.
Like other conventions, there is music, and that's nice that they have music, but their main focus is something else. Here, people come for the music, and you can tell like the excitement in the audience that people are here for that reason. And I don't know, just the response that we get here is just insane. So it's like
It
like
seems
nothing
very
else.
commensurate to the level that you guys bring to it, because like the groups here are good, and you're great among the groups. So I just want to throw that out there.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
let me put it in this terms. If we do, so, being a string quartet, we can do pop-up shows, like when we play at conventions and things, and we really enjoy doing that. If we're at a non-MAGFest convention, we are the only group that ever does that. But at MAGFest, like, everybody does it. Like, people bring their instruments. Attendees
Right.
bring their instruments to
Just
go
play in
just
hallway,
play video game music because they love it.
Yeah.
So this is a totally different environment, and we love that. It's so much fun.
Has the group changed much since it was founded?
It actually really hasn't, except for this guy who's pointing at himself.
It's an audio medium. We have to point that out very frequently.
So
No one can see what's happening.
We're talking about this guy?
yeah.
Right here.
Or is it this
The
guy?
one I'm
this
looking
guy.
at.
Yeah,
that,
him.
that
Yeah,
one.
that guy.
That one, Stan.
This
It's
makes,
Alex.
makes really good podcast, right? Just saying this guy a lot.
Hey, Alex, thanks for doing our album.
So once we finalized actual group members, and it wasn't me just picking people off the street. It was the same 4 until about a year ago, and then he left, and then Matt came and joined us, and he's awesome.
So
MAGFest was actually his first show last year.
right, I was there. I recall. So Matt, what has it been like joining a group as compared to kind of what you see their experience
No
having founded
pressure.
it? Yeah, like was there a sense of pressure when you joined, or like
There was, and well, but not that they didn't make me. So I auditioned, and that was a great experience. It was actually just at Chad's home, and it was just like hanging out with a group of friends. and playing through some music, and obviously they were judging me, but I didn't feel that judged,
Only a
so that
little.
was a plus.
Do you still feel judged?
I do feel judged now very much, all the time.
That's okay. He's good at judging us too.
But I found out about Triforce. I was invited to audition. I took the audition, and actually MAGFest 2019 was sort of the culmination of my audition. It was the final test, the final level, and
last boss.
And I passed. Yeah, it was the final boss, and I passed. In a way, I was sort of spoiled because MAGFest was my first experience with Triforce, and you don't get much better than MAGFest. You really don't. No, it's been a great first year, and this has been a great second MAGFest. But yeah, so it was. They threw me right into the fire.
Yeah.
We did.
I learned probably about an hour and a half worth of music in less than a month.
More. We played 3 shows.
We played 3 shows that year.
Yeah. So sorry for people who might not know Triforce, they perform without music, completely memorized on stage. That's right. I didn't just make that up, did I?
Oh no, you just made
No,
that up.
what I meant was.
They do play with music.
Oh, okay.
My public comment is hell no.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought.
That would be
Ian
very
here
impressive.
with the GameBrew facts.
GameBrew facts.
I mean, we joke that like the Zelda medley, which is like a 11, 12-minute piece, we can pretty much play memorized by now.
We really could.
Yeah.
Right, and I can get there. I'm not there yet,
Yeah,
but I
mean, we
could.
probably, the 3 of us have probably played the Zelda medley hundreds of times.
Just last month we were doing a gig, and we were just talking about how, you know what, we should really have some memorized repertoire, and that would actually be, I think the audience would really appreciate some of that. You'd have a little bit more direct audience
Yeah, it opens up a bit more connection.
interaction, and connection. So that's something we're thinking about.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Side question about the Zelda medley. So this is has it evolved since you did it for your senior recital?
He's going to talk
you
about
have-
flaps. He's
I'm
going to
gonna
talk about flaps.
That's actually a great question. Okay, so the first Zelda medley, the one that you're not allowed to go look up on YouTube, please don't do it. It's terrible. It's out of tune. It was basically, I took Hyrule Symphony. They did their own quartet thing, and I'm just like, oh, this is cool, and I just transcribed that, and then changed a couple things around. I'm like, I could use a couple more themes. But then after that, I would every couple months I would just add another theme, and the joke was a week before a show, I'd be like, you guys, I added a new theme, and this is before we had iPads or any kind of that stuff.
Chad?
What? A week? A day before, an hour before, whatever. I don't understand time sometimes, so whatever. It was definitely before the show. I just want to point that out.
Technically.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have time to print out a whole new sheet music, so I would just get an extra flap, you could call it. So it'd be a piece of paper that we'd have on the top of the music that would just fold up, standing up in the air, and then random times throughout the piece you'd have to jump to that and then come down because I kept adding themes. But once we recorded it, it was done, except for then it wasn't. But I only added one more after we recorded it.
It's
So
a living,
far.
breathing entity.
So there's another Legend of Zelda game coming out either 2020 or 2021.
There's no way they're going to finish it this year. No way.
But do you think you'll add another theme from that game?
I keep saying I'm not going. I want to do another Zelda medley. I think that is more likely than adding to the current one. So.
It's already almost too long. Right. For shows. It's like...
Especially it's like a lot of times we only have 45 minutes for a set, and if the Zelda medley is 13 or 14 minutes, and we have to play it because we're Triforce Quartet,
Sure.
it's very limiting in what we can do for the rest of the set. So if that keeps getting longer, then it's going to be even harder.
You might have to divide it into like movements or something, and then just be
Don't think about ideas that I've already had.
I'm just saying. You know, be like, here's the slow stuff, here's the fast stuff. Put it in those two. That's it.
It's a secret.
Sorry.
Spoiler.
I'll take off my musician hat. I like video games.
That's a musician hat?
Yeah.
Kind of.
No.
No, it's a beer hat.
Is there are there examples of music that you can think of where you'd really like to perform it, but for some reason you don't? Either it doesn't have the popularity and you feel like it might not resonate, or previously you said there's some stuff that just doesn't work. Like, what are some things out there that you would like to do that you haven't done yet?
I mean, there's so much stuff that we want to do. We have some stuff that we've rotated out just because either it's hard and, you know, a lot of people don't know the game, or stuff that we haven't done yet because we just haven't gotten to it. Like, there's so much game music.
Yeah.
It's insane how much game, like, we talk about, like, 3 hours is a lot, but, like, 3 hours is, like, one game soundtrack.
Yeah.
There's so much. And, like, not all of it's amazing, But there's so much good music that's been composed. Like it's really hard to pick. I think some of the stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of really popular games that have really good atmospheric music, and everybody loves the games. And you sort of, but there's nothing really recognizable about the music, but it contributes so much to the game.
Sure.
And so if you like, for me, somebody like, if I really latch onto a game and I really appreciate the game, it would be great if I could now in this group in Triforce, hey guys, let's play this. But if it just doesn't translate to a quartet, then guess we can't really do it.
Actually, one that came to mind just recently is The Witcher 3.
Oh, yeah.
The soundtrack is really cool, but it really wouldn't work for us. It's very folk, like ancient folky and weird instruments, and like I don't think it's not quite.
You
as
didn't
like,
bring your
melodic.
hurdy-gurdy.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Well, if it was hurdy-gurdy, that would be almost
if he uses
similar
out.
to violin, you know. But it's like lots of strummed percussion-y thing, which is kind of hard to do sometimes.
And speaking of Witcher, so the Netflix original, so great music in there. It's good. Some of it would be hard to translate. We have done vocal tunes before, like we have Portal, for example. Still alive.
Skyrim as well. Did I make that up? I made
We
that
have
up.
not done
GameBrew facts.
Skyrim.
GameBrew facts.
GameBrew facts.
Skyrim's a difficult one, and for a different reason. Rather than vocal, it's so big. It's hard to replicate the sense of the bigness.
You know what could replicate that bigness is a tuba. Just throwing that out.
Even a tuba quartet, maybe?
What?
Even a tuba quartet, yeah.
So we struggle with anytime it's like a big, grand, symphonic, very large,
big chorus,
kind of thing. It's really hard to, shrink that down to 4 parts. Sure. And sometimes,
especially if the harmonies are thicker than 4 parts,
right? Yeah. And sometimes once you do that,
come on guys, double stops. Let's go.
Things that work well in the symphonic version don't work well in the string quartet version, and it gets really difficult to try to figure out how to make it work.
Specifically, like for example, like Star Wars being popular right now. Star Wars is actually very hard to translate from what John Williams has done to, say, a smaller group like string quartet.
Yeah, it's extremely hard. There's Final Fantasy music that sometimes has the same kind of problem. I guess some of the newer stuff. So that's one problem, and then atmosphere is the other problem, which someone was saying earlier, right? So atmosphere and like percussion, when there's a lot of those two things going on, it's really hard to replicate that on our instruments. But sometimes we can. Like we do extended technique things that sometimes work. Like,
if it's kind of like a poppy drum set or rock groove on like a drum set, that's really hard to do with us too. I mean, we have pieces where we try to replicate something like it, but
or even like the old Mega Man stuff, like the old like
so
really
good.
like love that. I mean, and one of my favorite soundtracks is Shovel Knight, and like,
Oh yeah,
I
Shovel Knight's
really,
incredible.
really, really, really want to do. I actually have 3
an
different
arrangement that you've been working on for
started-
7 years.
Yes, of a non-heavy percussion Shovel Knight track, Requiem for Shield Knight. But
We do play Mega Man Spark Mandrill.
But
Just
like
wanted
the whole like heavy percussion stuff that goes on in a lot of some of the old original 8-bit tracks it's just really hard for us to replicate.
We're going to listen to another piece of Triforce Quartets. This is the main theme from Dragon Age Inquisition.
Okay, so I have a couple of really hard-hitting questions. If you don't feel comfortable answering them, it's totally fine. I just want to set you at ease. So if you don't,
Jake, you can answer these.
so it's a cage match. Who comes out alive? I'm saying it's 4 of you, cage match. Chairs, maybe. No way out.
I don't know. I would
lives?
go with Stanley or Matt when Matt's got the army training, I guess, right?
I'm gonna go hard as
That's what we
Stanley.
said
I'm gonna
about
go hard
Alex.
with Matt on this one.
I'm going with not me.
Anyone
It's Chad,
Good
not
answer.
me.
I will scratch your eyes out.
Matt has tattoos. I don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It does complain. If you complain, is that like winning?
As long as the other people are incapacitated, yeah.
Like,
so-
like maybe like complain that's not fair or something. I can do that.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. I think this is not
Can
fair.
we clarify the rules here?
Yeah.
Right.
I like to. Matt has not said anything here.
That's true.
Yeah, Matt, who
They
wins?
call that the silent
wins?
but deadly.
That's not. What
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Matt was like a soccer star. He's good at the sports.
You just like kick us in the balls and be done.
That's cheating. You can't do that. I will complain about that.
No rules. Cage fight, right?
So I live in California now. I live in LA, and in LA, like horoscopes and like signs and stuff are really big right now. And maybe that's universal. I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It is. It is very weird.
It is weird. We say it all the time.
But the version of that I actually find interesting is if you were a Pokemon, what Pokemon would you be? Now I want to clarify. It's not what you want to be. It's what would you be?
Oh.
Look deep inside yourself.
Right.
Sobble.
So Chris.
Take a moment of reflection.
Wait, can you clarify why?
I just want to like, I don't know, just crawl up and cry all the time. No, just no, I love Sobble.
Right. Join us next week on the Game Therapy Podcast.
And then he turns into like a super skinny, like fierce
James
sniper
Bond
at the end.
Oh,
like
right.
at the
I
end
see.
of
It's a
Evolution.
redemption story.
Yeah,
I like that.
exactly.
It's
It's coming
good.
of age story. Well, all of them kind of were this
Coming
time.
of age story.
Yeah. He's like awkward teenage years in the middle. I forget the middle.
All the middle
evolution
ones
of
are awkward teenagers.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's true.
Especially Charmeleon.
They probably don't know Pokemon that well. I'm the main one who plays Pokemon, I think.
Oh.
Then
Yeah,
you
do that,
pick.
do that.
Have
Ooh,
Jake.
I can
have
pick.
Jake pick.
Oh,
one.
okay. Shit. This is
This is actually
gonna
way
get
better.
shady.
Oh no! What
Do you want another beer for this?
This is gonna get shady.
Do you need another beer for this?
I wish I liked beer.
No, it's okay. They can't hear you.
God, I wish I had more time to prepare. There's like what 800 now.
Yeah, there's
No, don't even. You can think for as long as you want. We're just going to cut from here from when I asked the question.
Oh,
We're
right.
funny
That's true.
again.
That's true.
It's
Perfect.
fine.
Perfect. Chad would be like.
I think I know what I would be.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I might be saying it wrong. Sorry. Ghastly? Is that?
Ghastly?
What's the
Gengar?
Ghastly's one.
What's the? Isn't it one?
Ghastly's a Pokemon.
Thank you.
Why wouldn't you be? You'd be more like
'cause I'm-
Gengar.
No, I mean that was sort of like a play on words.
Ghastly. Because you pass gas
So
all the
I'm
time.
ghastly sometimes. It could be ghastly.
I mean, I guess that's
Often,
true.
really, though.
I'm trying to help you out here.
Yeah, thank
Work
you.
with me.
No, thank you. I'm trying to think of like a Pokemon that eats like really lots of spicy things.
Thank you.
Lickitung.
Thank you, Alex.
Maybe Lickitung.
By the way, recorded our album.
Pokemon,
He just proved that Ghastly is a Pokemon, and I'm not crazy. So thank you.
All right, do me next.
Yeah,
do me.
If I had a
probably
nickel.
like something
gotta be a
kind of
cool one.
goofy.
Goofy but cool.
Goofy
have to
but
be
cool.
Sudowoodo.
Goofy. Pseudo.
That's what I have in the morning. when I wake up.
Maybe I'll just go with starters.
Oh, I know.
Maybe
I know.
that'll
Okay.
Jake,
narrow it down.
I know. Shoe. Because he always quotes the Chin Pokemon episode from South
Oh,
Park.
the South Park one. Matt would be Charmander.
Gross.
Yeah. No, it's good.
It depends on the person.
It's cute.
You know what? Charizard is arguably one of the most popular Pokemon, so you really get there.
Yeah, and Stanley.
And you just kind of catch things on fire when you
Stanley.
feel like, and you're real sassy. So.
But your tail's on
Stanley's,
fire.
what's the...
Stanley might be the what does
They're so
Grookey evolve into?
I don't
didn't
know.
get him. Google it quickly.
Quick.
This
This is Fee, our intern. Who's a,
No one's told him we can't pay him or hire him yet. So.
But we can sign his credits for his class.
Yeah, I don't know. Choose,
Fantastic hair.
Yeah, it's really good hair. It's really good.
Thank you.
It's like
See?
great anime hair.
Oh.
It's so good.
So glad somebody else says that. 'cause
Yeah,
he
I wish I
doesn't-
was better at picking the Pokemon. Like,
That's okay.
It's okay.
The Pokemon you wanted?
oh, Grookey.
The
his,
Groupie evolved, fully evolved.
Yeah, Willowbone.
Oh, never
Willowbone.
mind.
Big ape.
You're Willowbone.
Yeah.
I accept this not knowing what the hell you're talking about.
You're in the clear. You're in the
You're a
clear.
big ape.
Big ape. It's better than the one that licks and the one that farts.
Well, so the thing is, like, Stanley is more of a Game of Thrones character than a Pokemon. So,
Okay.
So who is he from Game of Thrones?
yeah, right.
You can't just say that and not.
Brienne of
Brienne of
Tarth.
You know she's badass. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, are you all like, are you playing video games right now? Like, what are some games that you're playing that you're super
Oh, yeah.
into?
I just got Fire Emblem for Christmas. 3 houses. Yeah. It's like, I can't explain to people, especially ones who don't play video games, like, number one, what it is. And it's like, it's a strategy battle talking to people and building relationships game. And it's
RPG.
super addicting. Right.
It's so true. He just tried to explain it to
Yeah.
Ian, and it was like, it's this, but it's also, and then this.
But it's really fun, I promise.
And then there's a dog you can go find, and he barks.
Right, yeah. And you can fish.
Oh, you can fish in that?
And then I got Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh,
Me
too.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's so
Matt's
good.
been playing that too. And I just finished Pokemon in November.
I've gotten through 2 times of Fallen Order.
You have?
Yes.
Wow.
So good, man.
You
Very
did a
good.
light run and a dark run?
Pretty well.
Well,
you
you
don't
don't
really.
get a- you don't get a
You can't
choice.
really
With Fallen
choose.
Order? Yeah, you can't really choose.
You can choose your skill tree structure. So I did it very differently the second time of
What did you change?
playing. Force power versus health, like whether or not to upgrade your combat, your force, or your health.
Mage versus fighter type.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does drastically change the gameplay, which is really cool.
I played through. I'm the only one of us who's played it so far.
Ian
And
poo-pooed the idea of it.
I was shitting on EA at the time.
yeah, but the
Well, thank God EA was not. They just had the money, the backing. Thank God.
But it's very interesting because I didn't do like any of the force powers that much until the very end, and then I was like, oh my god, I feel like a Jedi.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I
Yeah,
actually had all that
exactly.
stuff. So yeah, that's really cool.
It's a
also-
well
you
done.
get Dan points. You get mandatory fun points. You don't know what those are, but you get.
I'll take them.
He's not here right now. He'll come back.
Shut up.
I also play Overwatch
Oh, right on.
Nice.
most of the time. Like,
Do you have a main?
when I have like sort of one from each category because I just kind of fill. But Zarya, Symmetra, not as much because damage, DPS sucks, and Moira.
Nice.
So I am also an Overwatch player. Unfortunately, my computer is dying a slow death.
No.
So I need to replace it at some point. But
Oh,
I
you should
actually
talk to Chris. He's good at.
Chris is the master of finding things on Reddit and finding things on
For
all over
cheap.
the
We will
internet
talk
for super
later.
cheap.
We'll talk.
Oh, there's the subreddit of
Build a
like
PC sales.
Yeah, I used that. That was good.
so I have played Overwatch. I'm a Zenyatta main, 100%.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've never met somebody who's a Zenyatta main.
Oh yeah. I don't know why. I look at my win rate on Zenyatta versus any other character. I'm like, oh, I should play Zenyatta more. Okay.
I guess that's what I am now.
Yeah, exactly. Because I am on fire.
Solid.
I don't remember the rest of the line, but I play Magic the Gathering.
Nice.
Because I'm a
We
fucking
did a
nerd.
draft
Last night.
Oh, what draft?
Well, we just like a bunch of people bought booster packs, so we
What?
did a 2019 like
20
standard.
19 and 20.
Yeah, and then
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
you
cool.
like split core set or?
yeah.
Yeah, we bought 2 core sets and then core
Sorry to
Interesting.
offend.
No. I'm like,
And then we bought
That's cool.
a 36 box that one of the other guys took the rest of the cards, but yeah, we just had 3 packs each basically. And it was a good time.
So have you guys played Arena?
Oh yeah, Arena's great. Arena, to me feels like the most faithfully reconstructed digital version of Magic the Gathering that there's ever been.
Magic Online is amazing because you can play all the old formats and everything, which I love,
Yeah.
but it's a terrible interface and it's just really hard unless you're really invested.
Yeah.
I really love Arena because you can do it free. It's great, but the only issue is that it does have some bugs.
Yeah, it
And
does.
so I was doing a ton of drafts on of Throne of Eldraine. I got this weird bug where like, and this is really deep, but like I couldn't sacrifice food tokens for anybody who knows what that means.
Yeah.
And like I reinstalled like 3 times and it doesn't work. So I had to stop playing. So it's like,
That's annoying.
what game do I want to start playing that will really addict me. So I started playing Destiny 2.
Oh.
And because I've been avoiding it for a long time because I knew it was going to hook me, and it definitely hooked me.
I used to play WoW.
I managed to avoid WoW, but Destiny, the feel and lore, like the futuristic, but like
Space
like
magic.
weapony kind of like I'm like this is my jam. So I've been playing Destiny. It's nice. It's awesome.
He hasn't playing any games because he's got a baby.
I still play games. I play change diapers. No, it's a really
You win.
terrible game.
High risk.
Yeah, the smell-o-vision sucks. So since I don't have as like much time in chunks anymore, I've been playing like Hearthstone because I can play that game in like 10 minutes and on the toilet.
Yeah.
It's my good. It's a great
What are you
toilet
doing there?
game.
Nothing.
Right. Also a decent amount of Mario Maker because again, that's like I
Okay.
can easily just pick that up and play like a bunch of fun levels. I just got Ori and the Blind Forest, which I'm excited
it's so
about
good.
because that's the kind of game I like, and that's not impossibly long where I should have time to play it. So I'm gonna play that, and I also got Kingdom Hearts 3, even though mixed reviews, but I have to play it because I have to play it.
I'm the same way. I've bought Kingdom Hearts 3 literally last year when it came out, and I haven't played it yet. I haven't touched it, and I'm like, I need to do it.
I feel like a bad person because I like made fun of Square, for so long, and they took how many years to come out with the third one, and it was almost like a running joke, like it would never, like it was Half-Life 3 or something, like it was never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then I never even played it. It's almost been
I
out
was
for
so
almost a year.
excited, and then I was like, I have to get it, and I bought it, and then I'm just like, all right, someday.
Like, yeah. I mean, so I'll probably play it soon, but yeah. So but of course, Final Fantasy VII supposedly comes out in like a month. And
The remake, yeah.
Chapter 1 or whatever.
Exactly.
Well, that's actually. I think I made that exact joke on stage last year about Kingdom Hearts, being like, they say it's going to come out in a month, but what games come out in January? I mean, come on. No one's going to release a big game in January. Why would they not release it in December when, especially something like Final Fantasy, which has been in production for what, like 7 years now? At least. And then January? Come on, that's suspicious.
Yeah.
It's
Very
suspicious.
weird.
But they did. But Kingdom
So I guess
Hearts
that's
came
their
out on
new
time
thing.
last year, so
They're like, this is us now.
I wonder
Beginning
if
of the
they're-
year.
Well, I was going to say, I wonder if they're trying to carve out like a space where they know they can reliably release and sort of be the big game of that season. Whereas if you release November, December, you're up against the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and all of the like big holiday games.
Or they're like, there's going to be buggy and we're gonna have some patches ready to go.
That's probably what it was. They were probably like, let's release it this holiday. Oh, we can't do it. Let's push it back a couple months. That's probably what happened.
Do you all ever play like music-based or like rhythm games at all?
We didn't hear what he's playing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, I did. I talked about Fallen Order.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
I'm very much a first-person shooter, and to be honest, other than Destiny, has been great. But yeah, right. I've been really so no.
Say what you put. Like you put it
Okay,
on
so-
your resume when you were.
Yeah, so
like when you were auditioning.
so Modern Warfare 2, I played at a very high level, competitive level. So that was my jam. And honestly, I personally feel there hasn't been a first-person shooter like Modern Warfare 2.
It was good.
Since, and I've kind of lost faith for a while and just kind of.
What did you think about the new Modern Warfare game? Oh boy,
It's kind of same as I mean.
Do you like the Battlefield series at all? Or?
Okay, so I will say that I did enjoy Battlefield 1. You know, without having a true campaign, it was an enjoyable first person. Some of the missions were good. The multiplayer was actually really good. It was buggy at times, but the map size, everything, they did it well. They did it really well. So I did enjoy that. This last couple iterations of Call of Duty have just been well below standard, in my opinion. So that being said, like, so I played Destiny. I played Destiny 2 a little bit. I don't know, like I find myself playing a lot of mobile games. A lot. So I don't know if we have any Clash Royale out there.
not Clash Royale, but we do play our fair share of mobile games. I don't know if you ever heard of a game called Florence.
No.
It was like one of my favorite games of 2018.
I was like, Ian's decided.
Oh man, what about?
I played it. It was good.
It's outstanding, but it's like super story based.
Well,
but yeah, it's really like if you want to read a book, but you don't have time for a book, but you want to have just a really great experience.
Okay.
Florence. There's actually no reading involved, which is even better. but it's basically
That is better.
It's hard to
We
describe.
can't read.
Yeah, we can't read it all.
But like it's a story that you kind of get to experience.
Yeah.
So I did the free 7-day trial Apple Arcade, and
yeah.
I really enjoyed Oceanhorn 2.
Okay.
If anybody's not gotten a chance to play
That's kind of a
Check it
puzzler,
out.
isn't it?
It's a puzzler. Yeah, it's really enjoyable.
So the question I was going to ask is, do any of you play music or rhythm games, and how does that relate to your experience with music?
Okay, let's see. I'm trying. So I think the first one I ever played was Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah.
Kick, punch, it's all in your mind.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. And which I feel like at the time I felt like it didn't line up correctly or something because I somehow wasn't very good at it. Like I don't know how.
Oh
it's
yeah, right. It
possible.
was the game's fault.
Like it was weird.
That happens to me all
it
the
was
time.
definitely the game. I played a decent amount of Guitar Hero until they like just sold out and had a game come out every like 5 months, and then
that was
people
rough.
stopped playing it. I got through the Fire and Flames.
Nice.
But I feel like when I was playing those games, it was kind of before there was Twitch and all these things where you see people that are way better than you. And now, I think I saw someone streaming on Twitch that they do Through the Fire and Flames perfect. Like they just play literally every note perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not good at this game, so never mind. I think the plastic guitar thing, like it came pretty easily to me. So I don't know if that's related to the question. I'm trying to think if I played other ones. I played the DK bongo whatever
The
thing was.
DK bongo. Oh, what the heck was the name of this game?
I can't remember.
Donkey Kongo.
Donkey Konga.
Yeah. There we go.
It's super relevant to this MAGFest.
Oh yeah. Do they have it downstairs?
They do have it
It's
downstairs.
actually an outstanding platformer.
bongo
Yeah, it was
controller.
fun. I remember.
Yeah, it's so much
You had to
fun.
buy the controller for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Well, I assume
why
it came
nobody
with
had
it,
So,
right.
yeah. Was that on GameCube or
That
Wii?
was on GameCube.
GameCube. Yeah. That's right.
I played Rock Band in college. I mean, we had
So
at our
I remember
musician
going
house.
over to his apartment instead of practicing my tuba.
Yeah.
We would
Oh,
go
yeah.
and have rock band practice.
Oh yeah, that's funny. The strings were doing the same thing.
I would play Rock Band, but then I would always end up chasing the pink dragon. Like Randy Marsh, South Park. Yeah, I'd get distracted, and I'm the South Park guy in the group, and nobody gets my humor.
Next concert's going to feature
fine.
the
You're among
music of
friends.
South Park.
I'm trying to remember. There were PlayStation 2 games pre-Rock Band, pre-Guitar Hero that used sort of the same system as Guitar Hero, and I cannot remember the names of them right now.
Was it like like a ship or something that was?
No, it was literally like Guitar Hero, except instead of using the guitar, you use the controller. There were two of them. I cannot remember the names of them right now.
I think it was by Harmonix too, because that's where they got the idea from.
I played some DDR like in high school.
It was not DDR.
I used to be
Yeah.
so good at DDR. What happened?
Like my brother got the pad thing for Christmas one year or whatever. So
Yeah.
I used
Yeah,
to
we
take
played.
my PS2 over to my friend's house, and she had a game pad, and I had a game pad, and we'd set it up in the living room, and so much work to do this game, but it felt so
was it
worth
Step
it.
Mania?
Right.
So I had to do some Googling. The games were called Amplitude and Frequency.
Yes.
Oh, I do remember that.
I remember that one.
They were
Yeah.
for PlayStation 2. And the story is I went to conservatory for music. We had like fairly intensive like ear training and rhythm and singing classes, and I distinctly remember friends of mine, not me.
Okay.
My good
We've
friend.
established a distance.
My good friend.
here.
No. The best part is I was watching them play instead of doing my own homework. But friends of mine who would play these games, these really intensive like rhythm games, and get really good at them, and go and sight read their actual homework for like fancy music school. Anyway.
How not to be a music major.
Meanwhile,
101.
they were really good at amplitude and frequency.
That's awesome.
So I will say, from like a musician standpoint, playing those type of games, for me personally, Guitar Hero and Rock Band I found really frustrating because I felt like, I've had all these years of training as a musician, yet my skills aren't translating to the game.
Unlookable
And
as
I would
much,
actually
yeah.
get, I would enjoy those type of games on like an easy level, but it wasn't enough. And then you'd want to, challenge yourself. But then it's not like playing the actual instrument that I know, so
You can more
for
easily
me,
pick up your violin.
Right. I was like, yeah, why can't I just play the actual thing?
Just give me standard notation.
Yeah,
like,
or
we're gonna be fine.
let me play it on a real guitar and it'd be fine.
Yeah, do you think that like is different than actually learning something on a guitar instead of the Rock Band guitar?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and for me, I found that frustrating.
So what I was going to say is that when I noticed playing Guitar Hero, is like you would get a wrong note on Guitar Hero, but you know that if it's like an actual instrument, it would not be a wrong note. If that makes sense,
sort
like
of.
your finger's in the
like
right
it's not
position,
far enough.
you're pressing the clicky whatever thing, and so, I don't know, you clicked it early or something weird, or I don't know. But in the game you would be wrong, but in real life that's totally normal and you would be fine.
Yeah.
So
That's
that stuff
the
is
point
annoying.
at which I checked out on Guitar Hero and stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Bridging the gap between Guitar Hero and now we have Rocksmith. Have any of you guys tried Rocksmith?
I have not.
No, we're behind, I guess.
I've done some like simple guitar stuff, which it's pretty cool and it translates pretty well to actual guitar.
Is that what
playing.
they have down outside?
Yeah, that's
right
right outside.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's what that is? Okay.
And that's on like you can get that
It's
on
on every
Steam
platform.
and every
Okay.
platform. And it's you have to buy
It's like a $30 cable.
Okay.
cable
I
that
caught
you
a couple
plug into your
people
guitar,
who
yeah.
were actually you could clearly tell that they were a guitarist and a bassist.
But
You
it is kind of like Guitar Hero where you have to buy songs if you want to play them, or you can just like take guitar lessons like on Rocksmith
and
as
there
well.
is a way to download songs as long as they weren't made by Ubisoft. You can download pretty much any other song that's been created by like a custom group of people. It's actually been helping me because I've picked up bass again. I played it in high school, but it's been a really cool way to kind of learn songs for me and to kind of get more into playing again since I haven't been playing much since I didn't have a lot of room.
I think that's kind of the kind of obvious evolution of
Yeah.
what Guitar Hero and Rock Band were. We're always striving, like gamers are always striving, well, your average gamer is striving for the most realistic experience, right? Sure. We're getting into virtual reality. So like what's the next level of Guitar Hero? It makes sense. You're going to get down to actual instruments and
This is going to be a really inside joke, but like in 10 years we're going to have like String Player Audition, the video game.
Oh, the video game.
play Don Juan perfectly.
Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
Now we're going to listen to Triforce Quartet's Sogno di Valeri from Civilization 6.
Final question for people who are listening who might, want to start a quartet like you have. What kind of advice would you give them for getting into it, keeping with it, and making it something that they can really, enjoy and get something back from?
The big thing is do what you enjoy. Start out like if you're passionate about something, whatever it is, whether it's game music or other music or whatever it is, do that.
This is the only comment I'll have, and then I'll let Jake and Chad.
No more comments.
I just want to piggyback on that. Stanley said, "Do something that you enjoy. Find people that you enjoy doing that stuff with. That's very important. Is finding the right people. You may go out and you may look for. You think you've got to find the best person, but they may not be compatible.
Sure.
So if you want to have a good experience, surround yourself with people.
Are we talking about quartets? Are we talking about relationships now? I can't tell.
Seriously? I hate all these
it's the
guys,
same thing.
but I'm here anyway.
Actually, we talk about this a lot. It is like having a 4-way relationship. It really is, but with none of the fun.
That's literally our podcast.
It is really unfortunate.
I mean, I don't know.
Slightly different fun.
You could describe what you're doing as
None of
making
the
sweet,
fun.
sweet music. So
I guess that's okay.
I will say the other part of it is find what you do what you love, but then also find other people who do that. Sort of talking about what Matt was saying. Find other people who do what we love. And so for video game music, one of the things that I'll recommend, there's a group called Materia Collective that we do a lot of collaboration stuff with. And it is a large group of people who are very passionate about video game music. And it's a whole wide variety of people. Find people who are also passionate about the thing you do. You'll probably find some people you get along with.
So when I was younger, I was lucky enough to be in a string quartet, I think in 5th grade or so.
Wow.
And I've played cello since 4th grade. And I like playing cello in other settings, but I always liked string quartet music the best, or chamber music in general, but specifically string quartet music. And I wouldn't still be playing if there wasn't chamber music or string quartet music, and really video game music probably either.
Yeah.
Who was your violist, Chad?
So this guy over here, this tall guy.
This guy.
We actually, he was in the quartet through middle school and high school.
Wow.
So that's kind of how I knew him. I was like, oh wait, I know a
Very
violist.
cool.
Oh yeah.
That's super cool.
So yeah, so that's how it was for me. I really like string quartets and I really like video game music, and I don't know, I get much more out of this than I would with a symphony or any other group. So
That's really cool.
Let's hear from the professor.
Yes, Professor, please.
Technically, I'm just adjunct. I would say, when you are lucky enough to find people that you are going to do this with and you're kind of getting things going, make sure everybody's kind of on the same page with what you want to do with it. Some people might want to put a ton into it and make it their lives, like kind of like what we've done. But some people may just want to do it for fun and may just want to do it every once in a great while. And it's not fair to sort of set something up and expect someone who isn't invested all that way to put in as much as you are. It's important to make sure everybody's on the same page. But I think luckily, and we've been doing this long enough that we're all really passionate about this. And, if you're lucky enough to find people who are just as passionate about it, that's awesome. Or if you want to find people who are just on the weekends, just playing through, trying to figure out music, that's really cool too. It's just, you got to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Is there anything you guys wanted to plug at the end?
Oh, yeah,
before-
sure.
Yeah, shameless
Yeah, we can plug it.
Any more plugging about Alex?
Shameless? I don't know if you guys know
100%
Alex, but he recorded our album.
Do you guys know Alex?
Look,
So,
we've already been beefed up enough.
So the album came out 2 months ago now. It's called Minuet of Time. We have a normal website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram
It's
stuff.
not a normal website.
It's a great website.
I was going to say something other than normal, and then I couldn't think of anything. So I'm like,
Can
we
you-
have a website, and it works when you go to the link, and it goes there.
Hey, Chad, where can you find this wonderful album that I recorded for you guys?
Oh, that's a great question, Alex.
Ask Alex.
So the album is on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, Amazon, Apple,
Google Play.
Google, pretty much all the things.
All the things.
So wherever you want to find it, it is probably there.
Anywhere music is found.
Yeah, wherever you get your music.
Now available on iTunes.
We do have physical albums, but you probably have to go to a show of ours.
Do you have vinyl?
No, we've thought about it. We might at some point, but we do not.
For-
have it yet.
For the
Have you considered
for
eight-
the,
We definitely
the
don't have
hipsters
that.
in the group, the listeners.
Although actually our Indiegogo is still active. We haven't closed it down yet. So if you get there before we close it down, you can still make us send you things.
What's your next performance following MAGFest?
In a few weeks, we are playing the New York Video Game Awards,
on.
which is going to be a lot of fun. It's apparently hosted by Trevor Noah, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
And I don't remember what we have after that, but that's next. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us this evening. It's really been a pleasure to sit here and ask questions of the Triforce Quartet. So thank you so much for giving us your time. We really appreciate it. So you can catch them at the New York Video Game Awards. Did you want to jump in?
No. We're just being dumb.
That's the majority of our
We're trying to
podcast,
start a
be
new
honest.
MAGFest tradition of the Mandalorian.
So yeah, you've got MAGFest has Colossus, right? Okay, so I'm sorry. Okay, it's horrible. So every time I hear that this year, I've been doing the Mandalorian. I think that would be so much better than I think Colossus is getting old.
We can also just go with the classic
Yeah, but the Colossus
Witcher,
War has such a history behind it.
Oh, it does. It does.
I have spoken.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Oh, sorry. What's that? No,
Alex,
please.
say your words.
No.
Use your words.
I'm just saying, I have not heard Toss a Coin to Your Witcher once at MAGFest.
Well,
this
that's
year.
that's from a show, not a video game.
But it's
I don't remember how the like verses go. I just know that toss a coin to your witcher.
But yeah, actually, I would
about,
love to.
he
I
can't
think
be
that would
pleased.
actually translate to a quartet very well. And as soon as you would start playing the melody, everybody would know the word. Everybody would know. It's very
They'd probably
recognizable.
sing
It would be a
along,
great
right?
sing-along. Or at least the chorus would be.
apparently I have to arrange that now. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
No pressure. but we
Anybody want to
decided.
arrange it for us?
I know nothing about music. I'll do it.
You're hired.
Jed, you can
Once
just
I
pass
played a
your baby
recorder
off
in
to
5th
someone
grade.
else.
I
Oh
got
yeah.
this.
Anybody want to babysit?
It's going to sound a lot like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but let's pretend.
All right, that's it for today. We are signing off. Say goodnight, everybody.
Okay, again.
God damn.
Everybody.
All right.
Yes, it's getting on. Finally.
Thank you for listening to the GameBrew podcast. The music in today's episode was provided by Triforce Quartet, and it's off of their newest album, Minuet of Time. The songs used in this episode are The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time title theme by Koji Kondo, Hollow Knight Medley by Christopher Larkin, Dragon Age Inquisition main theme The Dawn Will Come by Trevor Morris, Overwatch main theme by Neil Acri, Civilization 6 Sogno di Valere by Christopher Tin, and Portal Still Alive by Jonathan Colton. All songs arranged by Chad Schwartz.